Good morning to all, ladies and gentlemen. Protocol in place. I'll take you through today just a short presentation of the bank and the solutions and the various trade interventions that we've put in place to actually promote intra-African trade and actually support the continent, elevating it, as our EVP did elaborate on that yesterday. So I don't know if we can start off, please. So, just to give you highlights about the bank, I don't know how many of you do know it. Afreximbank is actually a Pan-African multilateral trade finance institution created in 1993 under the auspices of the African Development Bank. We celebrated our 30 years last year, and we're proud of that. Our vision is actually to be the trade finance bank for Africa. To stimulate is our mission, the consistent expansion and diversification of African trade to rapidly increase Africa's share of global trade, and in doing so to operate as a first-class global trade and oriented profit-making institution at the same time. Our mandate, like has been elaborated, is to facilitate, promote, expand intra and extra-African trade with operating commercially through three broad services. We do credit, which is mainly trade and project financing, risk banking, guarantees and credit insurances, as well as trade information and advisory services. In terms of our physical presence today, we do have in total 7 regional offices. We've got Cairo, Egypt, which is the headquarters. We've got our branch in Abuja, which covers the Anglophone West African region. We also have the Abidjan office in Côte d'Ivoire that covers the Francophone West African region. We have Harare in Zimbabwe that covers Southern Africa. We also have Kampala, Uganda that covers East Africa. And we have Yaoundé that covers the Central African region. And finally, we just opened our branch in Hastings, Christchurch in Barbados to cover our CARICOM region. Today, we have 52 participating African member countries that constitute the bank for us, and 11 out of the 15 CARICOM member countries have also signed the partnership agreement with the bank. In terms of our shareholding, we have 4 classes of shareholders. You've got the Class A, which is about 64% of our total share holders today, and they comprise mainly African governments and designated institutions and African multilateral institutions. We have the Class B, which is about 26%, and it's mainly made up of African financial institutions and African private investors. We've got Class C, which is about 7%. It's mainly made up of non-African financial institutions. And lastly, Class D, that is open to all subscription by any investors, and African or non-African, through the bank's depository deposit scheme. We operate on a 5-year strategic plan. We're actually on Plan 6 today, with the key caption, Extending the Frontiers, that runs for 2022 to 2026. And in that, we've got 4 main pillars. We've got intra-African trade and AFCTA implementation, industrialization and export development. We've got leadership, global trade finance, banking in Africa, and we've got financial sustainability. And for us, the whole idea is to make sure that, we move the interregional trade that we have today. On average, Africa is just in the regions of about 14.09%. Compared to other regions like Latin America, we have 15%, Northern America 23%, Asia we have about 59%, and Europe about 65% today. Now, what has the bank been doing to try and promote this, increase this percentage for us? We've put in place various financing solutions. I'll just scan through a few of them. For starters, we have our global facility, which is actually a facility we've put in place for African multilateral or multinational corporations who have been branded by the bank as intra-African champions. And we have that to support also the intra-African feeder groups. The facility supports their operations through financing, enabling market access, and other forms of technical assistance across Africa and diaspora. Because we do believe that it's not only about the I would say the European or the American multinationals that need to come and embed themselves. We do have those multinationals in Africa that we need to support and promote to actually make them grow bigger and actually export the services beyond Africa. We also have intra-African investment finance guarantee. This is to provide financing to promote foreign direct investments African direct investments, it supports the establishment and expression of businesses by entities from African country in another. The financing also supports acquisitions, joint ventures, businesses under concessions, agreements, and non-equity modes of investments as well. We've developed franchise financing to actually, showcase our brands in Africa. We're launching that with South Africa and trying to export a few of those brands they have there. Egypt as well, we're doing a lot of that as well. There's been a lot of talk about bankability of young projects. We have in place our project preparation facility, which aim is actually to support and the development of projects from conceptualization to a stage where they attract and require debt and equity funding, making them bankable. We have our guarantee program. During this program, we have specialized guarantees covering various aspects of, including country risks, short-term export credit, supply chain finance, note purchase cover, trade confirmation, promissory notes, sovereign obligations guarantees, and the like. We also have our parking credit finance and guarantee, which are loan or advances given to exporters to support them in financing the purchase, processing, manufacturing, packing of goods prior to shipment. This could be in the form of a guarantee on behalf of the exporters, thus making them more viable and acceptable to buyers and able to participate in international export transactions. We also have our intra-African trade services support facility, which is specialized to reduce the risk of uncertainties within intra-African transactions in which the bank acts as an intermediary to facilitate the flow of documents and payments. This will include things like LC confirmation, advising negotiation, reissuances, reimbursements, bills for collection, and open account related services. Now, we have a suite of contracting related guarantees, which is to help promote our EPCs within the continent. We also just last year launched our EPC initiative, which aim is to actually capacitize our local EPCs to be as competitive as the Chinese or the European EPCs that come and win the projects for us. We want Africans to do it for Africa. There are various other trade solutions that we also do provide. We do trade finance programs, lines of credit, note purchase programs, future flow pre-financing, receivable discounting, and the like. So basically, we try to become the one-stop shop as concerns all related trade finance solutions. We also have investment opportunities for central banks. We have our central bank depository program, where we seek to mobilize part of foreign exchange reserves for central banks and other institutional investors to lower in borrowing costs, raise financing for the region's priority infrastructural project. Rather than most of the central banks, depositing the money outside the continent, we're saying, bring that to us and we'll be able to give you competitive rates as well. We are involved in syndications. Our trade facilitation program, the AFTRAF one, which we are using to support a lot of the local Pan-African banks. I think today we are talking about close to 400 that we're supporting within the continent. Now, we do not limit ourselves just to only providing the financing solutions, but we also have the trade facilitations which aim at, putting in place the right framework for this financing to come to place. Is the creation of product capacity, the localization of value addition, industrialization and manufacturing, improve competitiveness, and actually market access as well. Now, what are we doing? We've got things like the export trading companies, our ETCs for us. They play a vital role in aggregating products to achieve economies of scale, providing market information and assisting corporates, SMEs, and the informal cross-border traders to participate in international trade. The ETCs will also support the export, agriculture, and food security initiative that we're also spearheading as well. The bank has been able to develop a model regulatory framework to facilitate the emergence and expansion of ETCs across Africa. And the bank is also developing the Africa Buyers Program to encourage and incentivize buyers to source from Africa. We have our Fund for Export Development, FEDA, which is kind of the equity investment arm of the bank. And today we're actually supporting a lot of the companies in Africa to actually promote. Arise is one of our champions in which the industrial parks they've been able to deploy here in Togo, in Benin, in Gabon. We're now also doing some in East Africa. Cote d'Ivoire is going to come on stream as well, Nigeria. That is through our FEDA arm and Arise, a partnership that will be brought together to be able to create these industrial parks to promote intra-African trade. Moving forward, we cannot stop without talking about the digital arm of the bank. We've launched the African Trade Gateway, ATG, and it's a suite of digital platforms that we'll be able to put in place. I guess you know, with the recent technological advancements, it's created the opportunity to adopt a leapfrog technology. In that, we've got our famous PAP system, the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, which aims at reducing the reliance on foreign currency and the pressure that most of our governments do have today. We've got MANSA, which we are trying to create a repository for compliance and KYC due diligences. We've got our Africa Trade Exchange to minimize the challenges associated with the flow of goods across transit corridors. It is a business-to-business and a business-to-government marketplace today. We have our Trader Club, whose aim is actually to facilitate companies locate different markets and different regulatory environments. We provide them the support they need to be able to expand their business beyond their geographical positioning today. Now, ATG connects. It connects the businesses services provides across Africa, provides freight and logistic connectivity solutions which allow for frictionless connecting and matching of freight logistics requests with freight and logistics providers listed on the platform. And lastly, I mentioned also our EPC platform, which we launched last year. It's also where we're now providing governments the capacity to identify African EPCs that can actually competitively and have the experience to execute all infrastructural projects for them. We've launched our Africa Automotive Strategy, which is, as you know today, Africa has over 30,000 components. We're trying to support SMEs to be able to provide these components for assembly as well. Notwithstanding, one that we've actually been in discussions a lot with the ECOWAS region is the Africa Collaborative Transit Guarantee Scheme. The aim of this is in order to address the transit challenges, Afreximbank developed the African Collaborative Transit Scheme, which is already being implemented in COMESA, and we're now looking to explore that in ECOWAS as well. The aim of this scheme for us is actually to promote, through the continent, a single technology-enabled continental custom bonds to promote the intra-African trade under the AFCFTA. We are already working with them in the Secretariat to ensure that this goes across the continent. For us, we think the movement of goods from one corridor to the other seamlessly without having to have multiple custom bonds issued will really facilitate movements of goods as well. Notwithstanding, we also have our creative arm. The Creative African Nexus, CANEX, supports the creative and cultural industries, including fashion, film, music, broadcasting rights. We're actually working with some of our clients in the region in this new space that most commercial banks and most other institutions do not know about. I would not leave this stage without talking about the biggest trade fair in Africa today, which is the Intra-African Trade Fair, IATF. Just to give you some statistics for last year, we were able to close 43 billion trade investment deals. We had 28,000 participants, 65 exhibiting countries, and over 1,939 exhibitors. I think if we are looking for one marketplace today in Africa, the IATF has done that. Cairo hosted the last one. In 2025, we'll be hosting another one in Algeria, and I'm definitely looking to seeing all of you present. I think I will end there with saying that, listen, the closest regional office, we've got Abuja next door, and we've got Abidjan. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to support the development of the continent from an infrastructural perspective, creative, SMEs, we have it all. Just come to us and we'll look for a solution for you. Thank you very much.